Why are Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds pretending they're skipping the Met Gala tonight instead of just acknowledging they weren't invited?
Blake Lively is reportedly spiraling meltdown mode after being discreetly turned away from the 20125 Met Gala.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds didn't attend the Met Gala, but were they rejected from it?
Insiders claim she wasn't merely occupied, she was quietly blacklisted outright.
They just didn't really want to put themselves out there with all of the scam.
From plantation wedding outrage to resurfaced blackface skits and staged family anecdotes, her polished image collapsed quickly. Even Justinbaldoni's charity failed amid her chaos ongoing.
Sad news, Justinbaldoni's foundation is shutting down.
Blake Lively expects us to think she decided to miss the Met Gala this year. Girl, please. It's not even amusing at this stage. It's simply embarrassing. According to TMZ, US Weekly, and People, this whole "we're not attending this year's" storyline was planted out back in March 21st, 2024 to be precise.
Blake and Ryan won't be at tonight's Met Gala. The couple's plans were revealed in March by multiple outlets, including TMZ. On March 21st, a source told Us Weekly that the news is actually not surprising, saying she's not a Kardashian that goes every year.
You see, time just early enough for her PR squad to pre-spin the rejection before it turned into public embarrassment. They never even offered a solid explanation. Only hazy, fluffy excuses like scheduling conflicts or saying they're simply not attending this year. Seriously? For someone who's basically obsessed over every red carpet moment for a decade, we're meant to believe you suddenly chose to skip fashion's biggest night.
Please now then.
And haven't gone since 2022 when they were co-chairs, and they will not be in attendance this year.
Let's stop pretending. This marks the second straight year that Blake and Ryan Reynolds skipped the Met Gala. 2 years back to back. That's not absence. That's banishment. And don't forget, this woman literally co-chaired the event back in 2022 once before.
She's obsessed with the Met Gala. She's obsessed with being seen. You know she wants to go.
But now she vanished, acting like she was never part of the carpet royalty she once worshipped. Nah, you don't go from personally chosen by Anna Wintour to quietly staying home with the kids unless something backstage went very, very wrong.
They're just saying that they're not going. Okay? They don't give a reason. It's just random. They're not going. This woman who loves fashion, who, you know, whether you like her fashion or not, I think it's abhorrent.
And let's discuss that theme, shall we? The 2024 Met Gala's focus was refined tailoring, black style, a tribute to black dandism, heritage, fashion influence. You know, Zakium stuff grounded in culture, history, and real social relevance, not antebellum cosplay or plantation aesthetics at all.
Time Magazine's Civil Rights Titan Award and all of that, we know the woman has done blackface. We know the woman got married on plantation. We know she only got the Time Magazine thing because she donated money to the NAACP 6 years.
The moment that theme was announced, anyone with sense knew Blake Lively wouldn't be front and center. Not after piling up PR disasters like a competitive sport. Her appearance would have been a contradiction, even dressed in couture.
Why? Why do you have to make up stories like that? I just don't get it.
Now, let's go back to the fiasco that kicked everything off. Blake Lively's wedding in September 2012. No, not just any wedding. A full-scale Southern plantation wedding. And we're not talking about some ordinary backyard in Georgia. This was an actual plantation.
They just didn't really want to put themselves out there with all of the scandal. But there also could be another side plot, you know, with the speculation and the opinion that maybe they were not welcome.
You know, the kind of place where enslaved people were tortured, abused, and killed, but sure, let's call it rustic elegance. And she actually thought a filter and some Pinterest boards could erase that. She had the nerve to call it a romantic backdrop.
Girl, it was a crime scene.
But here's the kicker. After getting dragged online for glorifying slavery, instead of apologizing or reflecting, Blake did what any performatively woke celebrity would. She threw money at it. So she donated to the Aiden Bully ACP. And what did she get in return? A Time 100 Civil Rights Titan Award. Let that sink in. A woman who once ran a blog called Preserve, where she literally posted antebellum-themed muffin recipes, is now hailed as a symbol of progress. I'm sorry, is the bar really that low?
calling out hypocrisy amongst the powerful people in Hollywood. She's not talking about women in power. She is protecting women in power. And instead, she is going after women just like herself who's trying to make a living from being creators here online.
And we're not finished yet. Remember her infamous SNL performance? Of course you don't. The skit where she portrayed a caricature of a stereotypical black woman has been erased from every platform due to copyright claims. People still attempt to repost the clip, but YouTube blocks it like it's top secret.
I could see, what's her name that runs the thing? Who's the designer?
Anna Wintour?
I could see Anna Wintour being like, Blake, you are not coming this year. Like, there's no...
Thankfully, nothing ever really disappears from the internet. That disaster is still circulating on other platforms. And trust me, it's just as cringeworthy now as it was back then. The over-the-top accent, the twerking, the cheap wig, it was Blake Lively at her most performative and offensive. So yeah, attending a gala celebrating black style after all that.
Black style! The celebration of black dandyism and the influence of black style in the fashion industry. History. So... given, her blueberry slave muffins, her wedding at a plantation, I could imagine why they wouldn't go.
That wasn't going to happen. And the Met Gala organizers knew it. They saw the plantation history. They saw the racial mockery. They saw the faux activism timeline. And they quietly closed the doors before she could RSVP. Because imagine the press disaster if she actually tried to spin that into another Blake's learning and growing moment.
Close to the couple says, the choice to pass in this year's gala came before the lawsuit, has nothing to do with it, and for what it's worth, Blake and Ryan aren't shying away from public appearances.
But here's where it gets even more humiliating. According to Popcorn Planet's Andy Senor, insiders are now quietly spilling the truth. Blake and Ryan weren't invited at all. From co-chairing in 2022 to being ghosted in 2024. Talk about a fall from grace. And not just any kind of ghosting, the kind where Anna Wintour, the literal gatekeeper of the Met Gala, reportedly said a flat-out no thank you. When Wintour freezes you out, there's no comeback. That's fashion exile.
I think we can prove they weren't invited. I mean, really? I don't think this is the year to bring Blake Lively. I mean,
yeah.
I agree with you. Like, maybe it was her reps.
What makes it even more obvious is the PR cover-up. Every entertainment reporter not on Blake's payroll could sense the damage control from a mile away. The official explanation reeked of desperation. It was all too polished, too rehearsed, like her team was huddled in a crisis Zoom, muttering, "Okay, what's the least humiliating way to spin being blacklisted?"
Their absence was noted.
Yeah, I think we can prove they weren't invited. I mean, really? I don't think this is the year.
Meanwhile, real stars, and by real I mean relevant and not problematic, showed up and absolutely owned the theme. Coleman Domingo killed it. Zaw Wade. Iconic. But where was Blake? Oh, right. She was busy posting meticulously curated off-duty mom selfies, pretending she wasn't seething while watching from home. The woman thrives on attention. You really think she skipped the Met Gala due to a scheduling conflict? Please. That's like claiming the Kardashians missed it for a yoga retreat.
We know. They've been everywhere. She's not a Kardashian that goes every year, is what she previously... This sounds like a lot of defense.
And let's not forget the internet's favorite form of karma, memes. Someone created an AI-generated image of Blake in full plantation blueberry couture, complete with a muffin tray and an awkward smile. And the sad part? So many people actually thought it was real.
Kind of crazy how this could actually be something she might wear.
That's how completely her branding has collapsed. When people genuinely believe a spoof image of you serving slavery-themed pastries could be something you actually wore to the Met Gala, it's over. The parody becomes believable, and the fashion queen turns into a cautionary tale.
And of course she brought a tray of blueberry slavery muffins for everyone to have, because she just wants to romanticize that deep South history of how the blues came from and where it came from, and the blueberries from the blues.
So don't be fooled by the fluffy headlines. This wasn't a graceful step back or a private choice. This was a shutdown, a locked door moment, a hard pass from fashion's elite. No matter how many fake smiles or staged paparazzi shots Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds put on, the message from the Met Gala was loud and clear. You don't get to wear the culture you once mocked.
Done it! She's done it! And now she's out there like, oh, I'm learning so much and thank you time, blah, blah, blah. Oh, cram it.
Blake Lively appeared on Seth Meyers and seemingly tried to rewrite the Gregorian calendar for PR points. She stared straight into the camera and claimed that one of her daughters was born on the same day as Napoleon Bonaparte and Jennifer Lawrence, August 15th, of course.
They lied and said that their daughter Betty was born on August 15th on Seth Meyers, and then that's what Blake Lively said. And then Ryan Reynolds said that Betty was born also on August 15th in a Variety interview. I just did those videos. It's deranged.
Why not add a dash of historical grandeur to your already overcrafted image? Nothing says relatable mom like pretending your toddler shares a birthday with an 18th century French military dictator. But here's the catch. None of her kids were born on August 15th. Internet sleuths like Elsie and Melanie King did what Blake didn't anticipate. They Googled. Wild concept, I know.
Do your daughters ever criticize your outfits?
Oh, yeah. No, one of my daughters has the same birthday as Napoleon and Jennifer Lawrence. So if you imagine like those two blended.
A few moments later.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
It turns out James was born on December 16th, Ines on September 30th, Betty on October 4th, and the fourth child on February 12th. No Napoleon or Jennifer Lawrence birthdays anywhere. So why lie? What's even the point?
Or the present, and sat up there and said that her daughter's birthday was the same as Napoleon and Jennifer Lawrence. Napoleon and Jennifer Lawrence were born on August 15th.
To sound quirky, to force a funny mom moment into a talk show appearance, or maybe she just wanted to seem more interesting than she really is. You know, because inventing birth dates is a perfectly normal reaction to fading relevance.
This woman is absolutely deranged. She decided to go on Seth Meyers, knowing that all these eyes and ears on her, knowing that everyone is going through everything she's ever said and done with a fine-tooth comb, whether it's in the past or the present.
And let's not forget her husband, Ryan Reynolds, who, bless his scripted charm, reinforced the lie during a Variety actor-on-actor interview. He fully leaned into the Napoleon reference as if it were a quirky inside joke rather than a blatant, unnecessary fabrication. These two treat interviews like improv class. Just make something up, smile a lot, and hope no one checks the facts.
The two narcissists, delusional people.
Except we did. And the evidence doesn't lie. But apparently Blake does. She even admitted it in an old Glamour interview, literally saying, Ryan just makes things up. I don't even correct him. So we're supposed to laugh it off like, haha, there's such a goofy couple lying about literal facts. No, Blake, that's not cute. That's not relatable. That's weird. And it's definitely not subtle. Throughout 2023 and 2024, the pattern became clear. Blake gets dragged for something, plantation wedding, PR lies, SNL sketch. Take your pick. And suddenly she's on a magazine cover talking about the strength of motherhood, or launching some campaign using light feminist buzzwords, usually right before a product drop or a movie promo.
To do all that, it would have been like Ryan Reynolds promoting Black Panther after getting married in a plantation wedding, which he rightfully got called out for. It just would have looked very tone deaf and stupid.
She has literally monetized every inch of her life. Red carpets, branded interviews, scripted moments, even the trauma she alludes to, all packaged in high fashion and dropped onto your feed like a Vogue-sponsored PSA. Meanwhile, smaller creators, especially women, get penalized for speaking out, yet Blake keeps smiling through the noise, profiting from the chaos she herself created.
Blake and Ryan were no-shows at the Met Gala. Now, this is an event they've been to a lot. They weren't there last year. She was editing the movie, It Ends With Us, stealing it from Justin's grasps. But now they didn't show up, and they have reasons!
Which brings us to another unnecessary sequel, aka the follow-up absolutely no one asked for, not even fans of the first movie, not even the director. Yet somehow, while the internet was dragging her Met Gala absence and court drama, Blake was out there promoting this cinematic disaster like it was her Oscar campaign.
I would assume that there would be a lot of fittings, there would be a lot of things she'd need to do with designers to get ready, both her and Ryan, to be able to be a part of this event. And they have been very busy traveling all over the place for the promo of Another Simple Favor. So I'm guessing that if there is truth to they decided not to go, it may have been because schedules were too busy.
And I do mean prancing. She showed up at every premiere, every panel, every photo op in full glam, pretending the world wasn't collapsing around her. Meanwhile, the movie flopped across the board. Critics labeled it a PR fever dream, which is both accurate and generous. It was less a sequel and more a 2-hour Pinterest board showcasing Blake's wardrobe. Behind the scenes, it was chaos. Rumors circulated that Blake hijacked the editing process from Justinbaldoni, delaying deadlines and dodging production meetings as if she were allergic to professionalism. And when the pressure mounted, she conveniently became too sick to travel, only to be spotted living her best life with Taylor Swift in Las Vegas. You can't make this up. It's like if Regina George ran a film studio.
Sort of a reality check of why we're still reporting and defending Justin, because Blake's out there at all these Another Simple Favor events and doing all these crazy things, and it seems like there's no problem. She's not suffering at all.
Instead of stepping back, owning the chaos, or, I don't know, facing consequences, she doubled down. She leaned further into the spotlight. More premieres, more outfits, more headlines. Her entire aura screamed, "I'm thriving," while her credibility plunged into the void, and the timing couldn't have been worse. This all happened while she was entangled in legal disputes that demanded she appear, believable, grounded, honest. But no, she was out there delivering PR theatrics, acting like a misunderstood heroine, while Justinbaldoni scrambled behind the scenes trying to pick up the pieces and save his foundation.
She's getting the gigs, she's showing up, they're getting the autographs, and meanwhile, Justin's still off, hidden in his family in Hawaii, trying to just sort of stay away from it all, as now they're having to shut down their foundation, which did so much work, Kim. This is depressing. So, Look, it's sad. I'm not trying to disparage, but I'm also like, good. They're still leaning in to show, like, this is the issue here.
So, in what universe is Blake the victim? In what alternate reality are we supposed to cheer this on? Because from where we're sitting, all we see is someone spinning faster than a washing machine on turbo, praying the public won't notice how much of her empire rests on shaky, shallow, self-serving nonsense. Her fashion might be custom, but the lies are mass-produced. And no amount of camera angles or viral gowns can hide the cracks anymore. Justinbaldoni's Wayfarer Foundation shut down in April 2025. Yes, a legitimate charity co-founded by Baldoni and billionaire Steve Sawitz just collapsed in broad daylight. The same foundation that quietly did real social work, not just lip service wrapped in a Vogue photo shoot, is now gone.
Is getting these opportunities. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, Justinbaldoni's Wayfarer Foundation is shutting down amid his legal woes with Blake Lively.
Why? Let's all say it together. Legal fees. That's right. The lawsuit between Baldoni and Blake Lively didn't just damage reputations. It straight up drained bank accounts. Their official statement said they'll honor current grants as they wind down over the next few weeks. Translation: they're trying to exit with dignity while scrambling to piece together what's left. Meanwhile, what's Blake doing? Sulking in silence, lying low, reflecting? No.
Weird way I will compliment this team, because this is how you show damages, Kim.
Yeah.
Because realistically, there are a lot of costs, and right now it's hard to probably do this foundation. This is a legitimate issue. I'm sure that they have so many legal funds and so many questions of what they can do.
She's out here playing celebrity bingo. Red carpet in Paris, brunch in LA, front row at Fashion Week. She's autographing posters like she's victim of the year. Because what better way to prove you're suffering than a 3-city promotional tour in sequence? The optics are so bad, even her publicist is probably checking job listings. You've got Baldoni silent and in hiding, visibly worn, while Blake struts around like she's starring in Cruella 2. Courtroom chic. One side is grieving the collapse of a charity, and the other is serving looks for likes. If this isn't a textbook case of who's hurting versus who's pretending, I don't know what is.
This is a smart move. As depressing and sad as this is, hopefully they can rebuild it later when they get back on their feet, you know what I mean? But right now, shutting this down is a smart move to prove damages. It is sort of a reality check of why we're still reporting and defending.
And yet somehow we're still supposed to believe Blake is the one we should feel sorry for, that she's the victim. Because, you know, she cried on Seth Meyers once and said something about being misunderstood. Please. The only thing misunderstood is how long she thought she could keep faking it before it all caught up to her. But let's rewind to the moment the internet collectively said no more Blake excuses, the glorious resurrection of the 2016 Woody Allen interview. A moment so cringeworthy it took almost a decade for the internet to finally have the guts to resurface it. Remember that interview? Blake was promoting a Woody Allen movie, which is already a red flag, let's be real, and a Norwegian journalist named Yasher Ali dared to ask her a basic question.
It's depressing. So, look, it's sad. I'm not trying to disparage, but I'm also like, good. They're still leaning in to show, like, this is the issue here. Blake's going to celebrate these red carpets and releasing movies. Meanwhile, Justin and it's not just Justin, it's Steve Sarowitz and the Wayfair organization. That's who started.
What followed was a cold, arrogant, eye-rolling response that screamed, I am above this, and you are beneath me. Blake was so dismissive, so visibly annoyed, it made everyone in the room squirm. At the time, nobody posted the clip because, of course, Hollywood shields its golden girls. But now the floodgates are open, and YouTubers everywhere have turned that 40-second clip into a case study on elite entitlement. Even better, the YouTube drama around it became its own circus. Opie Doy, another creator, tried to clown Sash Flo by accusing her of milking the clip to chase clout. Real mature. Except plot twist. Opie streamed the exact same clip on her own channel. Yes. Nothing says feminist unity like stealing each other's receipts and pretending it's original content. Sash Flo, who actually broke the resurfaced moment, came in swinging. I couldn't post it then. I'd be blacklisted. But now we're done protecting the elites. Period. Game over. Blake's America's Sweetheart force field shattered.
Email to YouTube saying that, oh, she needs to be protected because this is her livelihood and she's a disabled woman trying to just make a living. Isn't that hypocrisy as is worst? It's okay to steal another woman's content so that you can make a living for yourself. To me, this whole article, these hit pieces.
What the clip really revealed wasn't just one bad day. It confirmed a pattern. This wasn't the first time Blake played mean girl in heels. This wasn't a slip-up. This was her. And everyone pretending it wasn't is now doing backflips trying to justify the behavior. But people have seen it. The charm has rusted. The brand has cracked. And the internet, bless its chaotic soul, does not forget.
You have to remember that Blake Lively started this herself. She's the one who went public with all her accusations against Justinbaldoni.
Which brings us to the Met Gala snub that spoke volumes without saying a word. Because let's be honest, this wasn't just a declined invitation. This was a public execution of Blake's manufactured brand. The gala didn't just reject a dress. It rejected a walking PR machine held together by hair extensions and half-truths. It said no to the narrative. No to the spin. No to the idea that as long as you look good and smile wide enough, no one will question the plantation wedding, the blackface SNL skit, or the fabricated birthday saga.
Blake and Ryan were no-shows at the Met Gala. Now, this is an event they've been to a lot. They weren't there last year. She was editing the movie. It ends with us stealing it from Justin's grasps. But now they didn't show up, and they have reason.
This time the fashion world finally RSVP'd a hard no thanks. Between the lawsuits, the timelines that never add up, the wild contradictions, and the charity burning to the ground, it's not just Blake Lively's career under scrutiny. It's her character, her credibility, her ability to appear on TV without making up wildly offensive nonsense, just for laughs. Her compulsion to hijack narratives and pretend they're empowerment when they're really just ego with a blowout. Even Anna Wintour, the ice queen of fashion herself, didn't have to say it aloud. No press release was needed. The absence spoke volumes. When Anna ices you out, There's no redemption arc. Just ask every husband from the Met Gala's past. Your spot gets filled faster than your excuses. And Blake's throne? Taken. No one even noticed she was gone, except maybe her team, frantically refreshing comment sections, hoping anyone, still buys the illusion.
I could see Anna Wintour being like, Blake, you are not coming this year. Like, there's no way you are coming this year. Or I could see Blake's reps be like, Blake, you are not going to that. Can you imagine if you wear the wrong handbag?
And let's not forget the final humiliation. The fans aren't buying it either. The same internet that once worshipped her flawless style and mom goals energy is now dissecting every move like a true crime documentary. The comments aren't cute anymore. They're cold, sharp, done playing along. The media no longer shields her. Even former cheerleaders are quietly distancing themselves. Headlines went from Blake shines in gold gown to Blake's PR crisis deepens. And the Met Gala that used to be her playground? Now she's not even in the sandbox. So no, this wasn't just about a party invite. It was an entire brand implosion disguised as a scheduling conflict. A fashion queen dethroned, not by one scandal, but by the slow, relentless collapse of her own making. The curtain dropped. The spotlight moved on. And for once, Blake Lively couldn't control the narrative. She might have skipped the Met Gala, but she couldn't dodge the receipts. Subscribe for more brutally honest breakdowns, and don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments.